Alright, this is my next project, which I've been asked to build for somebody. It's supposed to be a rather large display that emulates fire. It's got a bunch of red LEDs, orange LEDs, and yellow LEDs. It's kind of hard to tell on camera here, but I'm going to be building it so red on the bottom through orange to yellow at the top, spaced randomly apart. Now, I needed a simple controller. I didn't want to use a microcontroller and do some programming for this, so what better thing to use than an LED tea light candle like one of these guys here. It flickers a little bit. This is a really cheap guy. It only has about 3 little dimness modes. It's bright, medium, and kind of lowish. So what I ended up doing is on the voltage drop side of this LED, it's enough for this shift register here to pick up. So when the LED flickers low, the shift register picks up a 0, and when it's bright or high, the shift register picks up a 1, a high signal. And then I've also got a 555 timer here that is controlling the speed of the shift register. So as this flickers, the flicker kind of flows up and around. This will be the base of the fire, and this will be the top of the fire. And this is just showing the speed of the 555 timer. It's a completely separate circuit. You can disregard everything on this board except for this section right here. So the shift register takes a little flicker signal from this guy, the LED tea light LED, and it just flows it up to the top. I can slow this down. I'll eventually put on a little potentiometer that I can change the speed of that, the upward trickle. And then this bank of red LEDs here, I have just going through a simple little transistor that is tapped into one of the LEDs here. What I could do too is divert the input of this transistor controlling the bank from the shift register and just kind of move it over to this flicker LED. You'll notice that the whole bank starts flickering with the candle LED. So that's something I plan to take advantage of as well in this circuit, is to not only have the T candle control a flickering motion upward with the shift register, but also add more T light LEDs to each shift register output. So while the bank of LEDs is on constantly, that would look kind of lame. I want that to flicker as well. So the flicker will do a blinking upward motion, and then I'll have another one of these LEDs up here. See how quickly I can wire this in without screwing it up. Come on now. Get that in there. If I move the bank to the other side of an LED here, come on, work for me. We'll see that as the bank of LEDs flickers on and off by the shift register while it's on, it still has its own little flickering pattern. So if I stop the 555 timer here momentarily, you can see, nope, you cannot see, you can see that the bank has its own flicker, even though the shift register isn't blinking it on. So it'll be two modes, or two things going on here. This LED tea light candle will be giving 1s and 0s to the shift register to flow up the display, and while any bank of LEDs is on, it has its own tea light LED that then has its own internal flicker. And I'm not sure I can plug this 555 in quick enough. So with the 555 plugged back in, we now have our upward flow of fire lapping away, and while any bank is not being turned off, it has then its own flicker that mimics the LED. To get this secondary flicker, I only needed to add two parts, a resistor and that LED. Very simple. No microcontroller involved here whatsoever, aside from possibly the shift register. Everything else is just the T candle LEDs and the transistor for each bank. That's it.